What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. It is the 10th day of January, and here we are with about 8 hours and 38 minutes left in the day, sitting at roughly $90.6 thousand. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. We're consolidating in this range that we've been in now since November 21st. Right? We've got this ascending low structure. We've got this flat top. It really does, it could be a horizontal channel, but it really does resemble a ascending triangle, does it not? And typically, ascending triangles are reversal patterns. They happen at the base of a downward trend, and then you reverse to the upside. If this is a ascending triangle pattern, if this is true, then the measure move should take us to about $109,000, $108,000, which lines up very well with our Adam and Eve measure move, our W measure move, right? In case anybody's confused as to what I'm talking about here, the Adam is here, the Eve is here. It's not a conventional Adam and Eve. Adam and Eves are typically double bottom patterns, but if you see this, it's Adam right there, Eve right there. It's pretty similar. The measure move to that pattern is basically the same measure move as this, and then if we took all that away, we just looked at this as the W that it potentially is right here. Typically, you do go just above where the W begins. And something right above 106.6K, that's 108K right there. It lines up perfectly. No matter how you skin it, whether it's a ascending triangle, a W pattern, an Adam and Eve, whatever, there's just a bunch of implications that all take this thing to the upside. But again, there's something important to remember. We don't want to be like the bear flag people, right? We don't want to be like these people who on this day were shouting from the rooftops, we're breaking out, we're going down to 70K, Bitcoin's going below 60K. We don't want to be those people, because what happened here was whenever we broke out, there was absolutely no volume at all. There was just a complete absence of volume entirely. When we break out of this to the upside, we need volume to come in. We need the volume to increase. We need that to happen. We do not want an absence of volume, because if we were to break out to the upside, break above this, and we had no volume, it's likely a fake out. We would likely go the opposite direction, just like we did back here. That was a fake out. We moved sideways for a little bit, but we did move up in the opposite direction afterwards. Understanding that we are likely in a bullish pattern that does have bullish prospects ahead of it, let's get into the short-term stuff, and then we'll zoom back out, okay? 1 hour time frame here, looking at this, a little bit of volume in the midst here of this kind of low area. It almost looks the same, doesn't it? like the daily time frame, doesn't it? You got your Adam and Eve right there, right? You got your flat top right there, and your ascending lows. Now we look at the 1 hour. You've got your flat top. You've got your ascending lows. You've kind of got this Adam and maybe not an Eve look, but it's somewhat similar. It's kind of funny how the 1 hour looks a lot like the daily time frame, but totally different scale here. I would assume that we do continue to move up higher. That's my assumption. Here, think about it like this. We broke out of this area, right? We were finding support here, and right whenever we broke down, there really wasn't that much volume. You had a little spike in volume here, but this was still smaller than these spikes. Volume was decreasing. Your volume started to increase once you moved up, actually, and increased even more as we moved up here. Looking at the indicators, very neutral. The 1 hour time frame has been moving sideways since the 8th now, so we're going to get neutral, inconsistent readings on our indicators here. I don't really have an opinion. Bullish, bearish, whatever, it's neutral. I'm still assuming we move up from here. If we move down, it'll be very small amounts. 4 hour time frame, looking at this, a little bit more of a deterministic view on the, I don't know. It's a little bit more telling, I suppose, of what the direction should be. Right, we've got these higher lows coming through here. We're at this area where we would expect to find support down at the 35, 40 area on the RSI. Getting overbought, not getting oversold. You have lower lows here, right? Lower lows here. And yet you have higher lows here in the price. You've pulled back from a relative low to a relative high. Pulled right back to your 0.5, smack dab on the 0.5 there. We've been finding a lot of significance on the 0.5 recently, and really throughout this whole cycle. Stochastics look bullish right here. This is a place where you could turn around. You could reject the 50, but I think you've already kind of tried to do that a couple of times and it hasn't happened, so I do think you'll move up from here. I think you will prevail. It is Saturday. It is the weekend, so we could move sideways, but I also have a theory that we might pump over the weekend. We'll see. Bullish divergence on the MACD. No. No bullish divergence on the MACD. I'm sorry. That's a low there. That's a higher low on a closing basis. So no bullish divergence, but still showing signs of readiness to move up on the MACD, on the stochastics, and the RSI altogether. I'm bullish here on the 4-hour time frame. Daily time frame, looking at this, we did reject the overbought area. We got in and we got out pretty quickly. Now we're back down around the 50. This is a perfect area to find support. Typically, that's what Bitcoin does, is find support around this area. We can go a little bit lower, but we found a bunch of resistance in this area before. Resistance just below, resistance just above, right here, all throughout this area. I wouldn't be surprised if we found support here. And then, of course, we do have our uptrend as well to depend on. So that's all good to me. Looks pretty damn good. Stochastics are right at the 50, exactly where you'd want them to bounce if you were to continue to prevail here to the upside. We could go lower, that's possible, but that would probably promote another week or two of consolidation, probably about a week. The MACD's crossing above the 0. I just don't see it happening here, right? Like here you came down. Okay, we can see you coming down. The MACD was crossing red. Here you're crossing above the 0, though, right now. I would very much believe that we were going to break out to the upside, not to the downside. When we do break out, again, the measure move, more or less, would take us up to about, I have it at 110K there, but let's bring it down a little bit. 109, 108K. It would take us somewhere around here. We take our high, all-time high, to the low that we had, our macro low, our macro higher low here, and that should take us to the upper ends of our golden ratio zone. Now, what I will say is Bitcoin does sometimes break through its golden ratio and go to the 786, 886 area, but more specifically the 786. We could make a run all the way up to 114K, and I think that'd be phenomenal. I mean, wouldn't it just be hilarious? I think it would be absolutely hilarious if we drop down like this. We consolidated for about a month and a half. We're in a bear market. That's what everybody's saying down here, and then we just moved right back up, just like that. I think it would be hilarious, honestly. It'd be classic crypto shenanigans if we did that. I mean, think about it like this, right? What I'm asking for is exactly, or I'm not asking for this, I shouldn't say that, but what I'm suggesting is, as a possible outcome, it's exactly what we did back here. It's literally the same move, right? It's not that hard to do. We actually made this move from a lower price and got to these same areas that we could potentially go to from here. I don't think that we're going to make a run all the way up to 114K. Maybe. We probably do stop in the golden ratio, but if anything, what I expect of this next move up is that people will likely underestimate it rather than overestimate it. By the time they start to overestimate it, that'll be when we're at a local high point. And I would at least expect that we get to 106 to 110K, if not maybe as high as 114K, sometime in February. Sometime probably in the first half of February. I do wonder if we'll break out to new all-time highs in February. It's very possible that we do see new all-time highs in February, but if not March, we should be pushing on well past that, but I digress. I don't really have anything else that I want to say. I think I've said everything that I need to say. Stochastics look good here. MACD is kind of sad here, but I mean, ready to bounce at least, right? You're near the 0. This is a perfect area to bounce from, and the RSI is bounced off of the oversold zone itself. So we are looking for a breakout any day now, any week now. This week's probably not the week. 1 day, 9 hours left. I was expecting a little bit of a weekend pump, but I mean, we still have tomorrow. We'll see. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, definitely bullish. Looking at the 1 hour, it's a bit inconsistent. It is Saturday. We can move sideways and be boring, right? Let's actually look at this real quick. Last Saturday, we were not boring. We moved up. It was not boring at all. It was a good time, actually. Sunday was kind of boring. Saturday was a little bit exciting. But every Saturday before that, you can literally see, we don't need to look down here where the dates are. You can just see in the price action, sideways, low volume, that was Saturday. Sideways here, low volume, that was Saturday. Sideways here, low volume, that was Saturday. It's you know what I mean? Like it's pretty easy. Sideways and low volume, Saturday, right? Sideways and low volume, and that was Saturday. That's typically how it is. So we did pump last weekend on Saturday. Maybe we do that today. But I would definitely expect, if we don't do it today, I would expect that we get some green side or green we see some green tomorrow, Sunday, and we probably grow into next week as well. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, take care of yourselves. Bye bye.